1962, these 10 artists struck gold with hits that topped the charts, then vanished from the spotlight almost overnight. Number 1. Do You Love Me? The Contours. Ever wonder about the strange twists of fate that create music history? Back in 1962, Berry Gordy had a spark of inspiration with Do You Love Me, but the group he wrote it for, The Temptations, was nowhere to be found. Talk about perfect timing for the Contours. These guys were literally facing the chopping block at Motown when they stumbled into this golden opportunity. The song's genius was in how it tapped into America's dance obsession. That straightforward question, do you love me now that I can dance, connected with crowds flocking to master the latest moves. It wasn't just a song, it was a dance instruction manual disguised as a chart topper, hitting number 3 on Billboard and claiming the top spot on R&B charts. 25 years later, the film Dirty Dancing breathed new life into this forgotten gem, giving the Contours' legacy a second act, long after their brief moment in the spotlight had faded. Number 2. Hey Baby, Bruce Channel. From dance crazes to harmonica riffs, 1962 kept delivering songs that changed music forever. While Hey Baby might sound like a simple tune today, those first few notes played by Delbert McClinton created ripples that would influence rock music for decades to come. Bruce Channel had been performing the song for years before recording it, perfecting that catchy Hey Hey Baby chorus that would soon have all of America singing along. But the real magic was in that distinctive harmonica intro. When Channel and McClinton toured England, a young musician named John Lennon was paying close attention. That harmonica sound became a direct inspiration for the Beatles' Love Me Do, creating an unexpected bridge between American rock and the soon-to-explode British invasion. Those 15 seconds of harmonica at the beginning of Hey Baby helped shape the sound of the biggest band in music history. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Number 3. Bobby's Girl, Marcie, Blane. As male musicians carved paths to rock stardom, America's teenage girls had different dreams altogether. In 1962, the year's best-selling female vocalist wasn't singing about musical revolution. She was a 16-year-old high school student whose only ambition was belonging to a boy. Marcie Blane's Bobby's Girl became an overnight sensation, perfectly capturing the pre-feminist values shaping young women's aspirations in early 1960s America. This sweet, yearning pop song resonated in a culture where finding the right husband often overshadowed career ambitions for teenage girls. The song catapulted Blane to number 3 on Billboard and number 2 on Cashbox, briefly making her America's top-selling female artist. Her success extended beyond American shores, gaining popularity in Canada and New Zealand as well. But stardom proved fleeting. Follow-up singles like What Does a Girl Do and Little Miss Fool failed to chart, and by 1963, Blane's musical career was essentially over. Number 4. Telstar The Tornadoes. While teenage dreams of romance faded, a sound from beyond our atmosphere was about to make history. In a cramped makeshift studio above a leather goods shop in London, eccentric British producer Joe Meek was crafting something revolutionary. Using a clavier line, an early electronic keyboard, Meek created otherworldly sounds that perfectly captured humanity's fascination with the space race. Inspired by the July 1962 launch of the Telstar communications satellite, Meek produced an instrumental that mimicked the optimism and wonder of space exploration. The Tornadoes performed this futuristic composition, creating a sonic experience unlike anything on American radio at the time. The song made British music history as the first UK group to top the American charts, beating the Beatles to the punch by more than a year. But success came with complications. A lawsuit over the song's originality cast a shadow over its achievements, and Meek's life ended tragically in 1967. Number 5. I Know You Don't Love Me No More, Barbara George. As the British sounds of the Telstar satellite faded, a soulful voice emerged from the heart of New Orleans. While astronauts reached for the stars, a teenage gospel singer was making history in a humble recording studio on Earth. Barbara George was just 19 when she stepped into Cosimo Matassa's legendary J&M Studios, the musical melting pot where rhythm and blues, jazz, and Latin influences blended into something magical. That distinctive New Orleans atmosphere permeated permeated "I Know You Don't Love Me No More," giving it a raw, emotional quality rarely heard in the heavily produced pop hits of the day. What made this recording special wasn't just George's heartfelt vocals about a failing relationship, but the masterful backing from seasoned Crescent City musicians who provided that unmistakable New Orleans groove. Their collaboration created a sound authentic enough to break through racial barriers, sending the song to #1 on R&B charts and #3 on Billboard. Number 6. Party Lights, Claudine Clark. As the sounds of New Orleans soul fade away, let's talk about a different kind of heartache, teenage FOMO in its purest form. In an era dominated by men with pens and production consoles, Claudine Clark broke the mold by writing her own hit about the ultimate teenage nightmare, being stuck at home while everyone else was having fun. In 1962, when female artists were typically just the voice, Clark controlled her creative destiny by crafting both lyrics and music for Party Lights. Her story of a young girl begging her mother to attend a neighborhood bash struck a chord with kids nationwide who knew that familiar parental refrain, "You can't go." What made Clark's achievement even more remarkable was how her songwriting tapped into the widening generation gap of the early 60s. This wasn't just a catchy tune, it was an early signal of the youth revolution brewing beneath the surface of American culture, where teenagers were beginning to establish their own values, separate from their parents. Number 7. What's Your Name? Dawn and Juan. As the youth revolution gathered steam in the early 60s, not every hit was about teenage rebellion. In 1962, while rock was growing louder and more complex, Dawn and Juan created a quiet moment of musical magic with What's Your Name?, a song capturing nothing more dramatic than the butterflies of meeting someone new. This gentle doo-wop ballad arrived at a pivotal moment in music history. The smooth harmonies and innocent question at its heart represented the last flowering of a style that was rapidly becoming endangered. Though released in late 1961, the song found its audience in early 1962, climbing to number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. The timing proved bittersweet. Just as Roland Trone and Claude Johnson achieved their dream of chart success, the entire doo-wop genre was being pushed toward extinction. The British invasion lurked just around the corner, and Motown's sophisticated production techniques were already redefining soul music. Number 8. You'll Lose a Good Thing, Barbara Lynn. The music industry of 1962 had clear rules about who could do what, and a woman writing her own songs, playing lead guitar, and topping the R&B charts definitely wasn't in the playbook. Yet in Beaumont, Texas, Barbara Lynn was about to flip the entire music world upside down, just like the way she played her guitar. In an era when female artists were typically just vocalists, with session musicians handling the instruments, Lynn shattered every expectation. This 20-year-old black woman didn't just sing. She wrote her own material and played lead guitar left-handed, with her instrument flipped upside down and backwards. The result was a uniquely personal sound that captivated listeners. At Huey P. Moe's J&M Studios in New Orleans, Lynn recorded You'll Lose a Good Thing, blending country and R&B influences into something entirely fresh. Her emotional warning to a careless lover resonated across racial boundaries, sending the song to number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and all the way to number 1 on the R&B charts. Number 9. Shout Shout, Knock Yourself Out, Ernie Maresca. From songwriter to singing sensation, while many artists dream of stepping into the spotlight, Ernie Maresca actually pulled off this rare career flip in 1962. After penning Dion's chart-topping Runaround Sue, Maresca decided it was his turn at the microphone, and audiences were ready to listen. Shout, Shout, Knock Yourself Out wasn't just another dance track. It was a joyful invitation to let loose that captured the uninhibited spirit of early rock and roll. The Del Satans, who provided those energetic backing vocals, were no strangers to the scene, having worked extensively with Dion on his biggest hits. The song's self-referential nod to Runaround Sue in its lyrics showed Maresca's clever connection to his songwriting roots, while the track climbed to number 6 on the charts. Number 10. Let Me In, The Sensations. Just as the charts were making room for Maresca, a female vocal group was standing outside, desperately asking to be let in. The Sensations brought something truly special to 1962's musical landscape, a dance song filled with genuine emotion that captured both the joy and heartache of exclusion in under 3 minutes. From their Philadelphia church beginnings, these gospel-trained vocalists transformed their spiritual harmonies into secular gold. Yvonne Baker's lead vocals weren't just technically impressive, they conveyed authentic longing as she pleaded, "Let me in," over and over, creating a musical narrative that felt both playful and genuinely painful. In an era when racial boundaries on the charts remained firmly drawn, the Sensations managed to cross over spectacularly, reaching number 4 on Billboard and number 2 on R&B charts. Their church-honed vocal dynamics created an emotional immediacy that connected with listeners regardless of background.